All right, we are live, man. We are live, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, what's up, y'all? What's up, my brothers and sisters? Happy people. Welcome to another episode of the Golf Club Podcast. Today, I have a great opportunity. I have a really special guest. I think my first celebrity.
Take it easy.
Hey, Kataki, take it easy. hey, don't be bashful, man. But I do have my, I do have my first celebrity. A lot of you guys might know him on social media. A lot of you guys might know him as the Rock Jr. A lot of you guys might know him as the Pebble. Or a lot of you guys might know him as your Teti.
Hey, I fucking late, huh?
That's fast. But I'm very humble, very grateful for the opportunity to have this guy, have this special guest on my podcast. And like I said, to do this session with me. But I'll let him introduce himself.
How's it going, everybody? Name's Pak. Y'all might know me from Instagram, LaughwithPak, and on TikTok, Pakthepebble. Blessed to be on this podcast. A little about myself. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Santa Clara, California, and I'm full-blooded Tongan.
Tease up, baby.
Tease up. You know what I'm saying? Tease up.
For sure. All right, so let's get it started, Tongo. Man, how did you grow up, man?
Growing up, it was pretty smooth. You know, I was in elementary school. I was really ba'u, man. Like, oh, it was bad. It was kindergarten. It was preschool up to third grade, man. I used to, every day, man, I'd get a call home from my teacher, was calling my parents, and I would just get died every day, bro. I'm telling you, every day my parents would come home and I'd have a conference with my teacher because I was acting up in class, or I was, stealing in class and stuff. And my parents used to just, dotting me with the belt, anything they could find, discipline, it was nothing, no beating or nothing. Like, but I was just always that ba'u kid, right? But then I kind of grew out of that phase, phase. Yep. And like, my parents they saw a difference in me because, like, I used to just be the guy that just got in trouble every day and stuff. And, I didn't really care. But then I started like caring about, like, I started caring more, and like, I never really got into trouble anymore. And my parents would, my dad always talks about how he saw a change in me, how I went from getting spanked every day to just, being normal and stuff. And, it was cool. I kind of was the goofy kid all the time. Mm-hmm. I was always that guy that, I always loved being the center of attention and stuff. And I think I get that a lot from my mom, because my dad is kind of like the shy one, but my mom is like the energetic, the loud one. Always, like, when the song comes on at a function, she's the first one down the dance floor. Always the one, bringing out the birthday girl on like her birthday at like Tongan functions and stuff, and just being hella loud. So I definitely got it from my mama, just, being the outgoing and more just life of the party kind of person. And it was tough because we haven't been the most financially stable family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we have our struggles. Like, both my parents came from Tongan, I think 87.
Yep.
And we've been living in the same 2-bedroom spot for our whole life. You know what I'm saying? And we still trying to and to this day, we still trying to make it out and find a house and stuff to live in. But it's just growing up, it was all I knew was kind of, I wouldn't say it was the struggle, but it was definitely the struggle. Definitely, I grew up in a very suburban area around a lot of, like, I grew up with a lot of, like, because a lot of Tongans, they grow up and they like grow up with a bunch of like Tongans and Samoans. They go to school with polys. Man, I remember elementary, middle, and high school, I was like I was literally like probably like one of the only Tongan at my school. Basically, at my elementary school, I was the only Tongan. It was just a bunch of whites, Mexicans, Asians. At my middle school, it was just me and my sister. We were the only Tongans. And occasionally we'll get like, one Samoan person come in, but then they would leave like halfway through the year to a different school. So then it was like, what the hell? And then high school, I think I can't even think about any other. I think my freshman year, there was like 4 Tongan girls, but they were upperclassmen. But then my senior year, I was the only I was one of 2 Tongans at my school. But everyone thought I was Samoan because they don't know what Tongans are. So basically, growing up, everybody just referred to me as, oh, he's the Hawaiian kid or the Samoan kid.
Yeah.
But I kind of had to make sure like people knew that I was Tongan. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
not a lot of people know about us Tongans. Every time they see like a Polynesian person, someone from the islands with tribal tats and stuff, they're like, oh, he's Hawaiian or he's Samoan. But nah, I make sure people know I'm Tongan and stuff too, man. It gets annoying, but it's whatever. You get used to it after a while. But I kind of just basically grew up with a lot of Palangi friends. A lot of people say I'm whitewashed, I guess. Like my sisters, my sisters always give me hella shit because they're like, oh, yo, you're hella whitewashed, like you don't hang out with enough polys and stuff. But I mean, I have some poly homies. I mainly like to hang out with my older cousin. I call him my older brother. I don't know if you've seen him in a couple videos. I've made like a couple videos with him, but if you go back on my page or something, you'll see my Tongan cousin. That's the one I hang out with, and he's kind of like the main poly that I hang out with, rather than my Palangi friends and stuff. So I mean, I kind of grew up whitewashed, I guess. But
no, go ahead.
No, but like whitewashed, but also very like accustomed to our culture, I would say, because my parents, they're both fobs. Like they, me and my sisters, we're first generations in America, so they still teach us, the Tongan ways, and they make sure we understand like whakaapa and stuff, and like learning like being respectful to your elders, respecting your sisters and stuff. So they always make sure that even though we were born in America, that we understand our Tongan culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that specific topic because that's a topic I hear from a lot. The Tongans that grew up in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because everybody know if you're Tongan or Samoan, you're Polynesian, you can relate to this. That if you don't, in our community, because we're so tight knit.
Yeah.
If you don't hang around other Tongans or other Polys, they automatically think that you're not poly or you're Tongan.
Yeah, that's literally how it be.
they just cast you out. They just cast you out from the circle. But I want to ask you, like, because I feel like that the word when they say Tongan, right? I feel like that word. I think they tie it to like an old way of thinking of like you have to be around the other Tongans. But I feel like when I'm Tongan, when I say like I'm a proud, because I'm proud Tongan too. I love my culture. Mate Tonga for life, baby.
Oh yeah, hey man, look, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm talking about?
I got the seat covers. I got the you know what I'm saying? Hey, hold on, one more thing. I got the you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
Mate Tonga, bro. I'm Mate Tonga for life. You know what I'm saying? I sweat and bleed red. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but for me is, I'm a proud Tongan, but for me when I say Tongan, I'm proud of also my culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But also proud of of the different things I'm into and my own mind and also the American culture, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like as long as we grow up, we grow up in America in this culture, that the American culture is also part of who we are as people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Because I feel like a lot of Tongans, and this is my own experience, like I feel like that a lot of Tongans like hold back who they really, really are because they're trying to fit the mold of what everybody else is trying to be. It's like that Tongan mold. Because it never makes sense for me, like, when people say like, hey, you're whitewashed. But the thing is, you don't pick who you grew up with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you really don't. Oh, you really don't.
You don't pick who you grew up with, like, who you spend time with, which school you went to. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of Tongan kids or our culture not only struggle but also struggle to progress because everybody is trying to live that like everybody, like our culture tries to fit everybody in one box. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, as a Tongan, for me, what Tongan means to me is you're just proud of who you are.
Yeah.
Is that Tongan pride? But I don't care if you hang around with other Polynesians, I don't care white people, Asians.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if you like classical music, you like island music, if you like jazz. I don't care what you like, but just just be who you are, represent, and for me, it's just like, yeah, that's something. When I ask you what does being Tongan mean? What does that mean to you?
Basically, just I think we're like, I'm a unique person. Like when I think of like being Tongan, like I think I'm unique because like, especially like in, my little town that I live in and, going to school as the only Tongan person there. Like, I feel like I wouldn't say I'm the outcast because I don't act like that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of, even though I'm the only like Tongan there, I'm still in the crowd. And, like, I just feel like it's unique. And like, I just feel like a sense of like power, I guess. Cause right now I go to school in Kansas and it's like a school of like 700 people, but I'm literally the only Tongan there. And it just like, you stand out and it gives you like a sense, I don't know, just seeing how our culture is. And, like, cause I'm like, I'm straight, I rep Tonga everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? Like I make sure like I rep, people know I'm Tongan rather, cause I'm saying I walk around with the face mask, I got Tonga face mask, you know what I'm saying? I like to make sure people don't mistake me for something else because like our culture is like so special and like we're unique and we're not like any other culture. And that's what I think that, I just think it just gives me a sense of power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm trying to articulate this the best way I can for everybody out there. Because I feel like it's good to. I want a place where everybody's proud to be Tongan, but I feel like, but I don't want our culture to limit us.
Oh yeah,
as far as growth, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's what those hardcore people, those people like they're kind of ignorant, they kind of like judge other Tongans and put other Tongans down because they don't know the language or they didn't grow up in the culture because they hang around with Balangis.
Yeah.
No, I feel like we should be proud to be Tongan, right? But like I said, but we should be able to accept the uniqueness of every Tongan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm understanding that one. Yeah, now.
Yeah, it's like we're all Tongan, but we're all unique Tongans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like we're all different in our own ways, but we're the same. We're all the same. We're the same thing, but we're all unique in different ways, kind of thing.
Exactly, but we're all Tongan though. You know what I'm saying?
But we always will be Tonga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't take away that. You can't take that Tongan away from me. I don't care what I do in my life, but there's nothing you can say or do that's gonna take away the fact that I'm Tongan.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that one.
So I think that's something that I think that's something that happens a lot within our generation. Is just especially with the our parents and stuff. They kind of try to fit us and try to fit us into this mold of what being Tongan for them growing up. And everybody just following what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like like you said, I feel like that stops a lot of us from being ourselves and being unique. Because all of us are unique. Yeah, all of us are unique, man. And also like for me, is when you grow up in a different situation, when you grow up in a different environment, that kind of that it allows you to kind of like go outside your culture and to learn new things and learn new ideas, right?
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's something I just hear a lot of people say. I don't like it when other Tongans put other Tongans down. That never makes sense.
Yeah, no, I don't see. I never understand that either because it's like, why? That's like the same thing as like, like say like other cultures, like say like black on black violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to your own people? And it's like when other Tongans are like, degrading other Tongans or there's violence between other Tongans. It's like, why would you do that? Like that's like your brother or like sister right there. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if that Tongan is trying to do better. You know what I'm
exactly. Saying? Yeah, like when you see like another Tongan doing good, like encourage them and boost them to keep going and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like don't bring them down or don't like talk bad about them. I feel like a lot of people now are just like they see someone doing well, like especially our like Tongan people, like they'll see someone doing so well, but then they'll just speak bad about them.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just you should be happy that they're doing that because they're your people. They're Tongan, so just encourage them and motivate them. You know what I'm saying? And they're motivated. They should be motivating like other people too. It's just I don't get it.
I just never got that. I never understood that mentality. Like when you see somebody, in your own culture and your own race doing well in life.
Yeah.
I never understood why people would try to hate.
Yeah. I just
there's
don't
so much.
understand either.
I just never understood. For me, I've been trying to figure that out my whole life. Like, where's this all this hate coming from, bro?
Yeah.
Because if I see somebody make it big, you know what happens? That inspires me because I know if they can do it, shit, I can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If they can make it out the struggle, like you said, you grew up in the struggle with your parents right now. I'm shit, same thing. I have my parents are fathers, work 2 jobs, same jobs, the caretaker. My mom's a caretaker.
Yeah, my mom works bye too.
Bye. So I've seen my parents struggle. So like, I know what that reality is, what struggle is. So like when I see other Tongans making it big and doing well for their family, like, I feel that in my heart, bro. Like, oh, like, for sure. Like, do your thing, Toko. Do your thing, Tahine. Make it big.
Exactly.
Just, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I've seen Tongans, bro. I've seen Tongans talk about somebody, number one, talk about someone they don't even know. And then just for no reason, just hate out of no reason. And
it's not healthy, man. Like, they should definitely just keep bringing them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're doing their own thing. Like, that other Tongan is doing their own thing, and it makes them unique and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe this hate maybe comes from jealousy or something. I don't know.
But this is my question to you. I want to ask you this. Like, in my opinion, I feel like that hate comes from that I don't know, it's the belief of the culture that we are brought up into believe that we're all supposed to be one box, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got you.
Because like I said, when you grow up at being Tongan, like everybody tries to hang out with one another.
Yeah.
Everybody try to do the same thing. Our parents have this heart. Our parents are really hardcore. That tough love.
Yeah. Tough love, man. It'll get you.
And some of you guys are listening probably had some tougher love than others.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anybody any flashbacks, but
bring some trauma.
But yeah, I feel like for me that's why that discontent or like that hate resonates from, because like our whole life we're gonna like told, like, this is what a Tongan is. This is what a Tongan man should be and act like. This is what a Tongan woman should act like. And then as soon as somebody steps out of line from that belief or from that system, then it's our natural response to be like, oh, and to like criticize that person instead of like encourage. Because we've been taught our whole life. Because like the same thing for me, I remember growing up and everybody was telling me, if you don't hang out with other poly kids, then all the other poly kids are just just treat you a certain different type of way if you don't do what they do.
Yeah.
So I've always been afraid about like growing up as a kid, of doing things, or even like when music come on the radio and the song that you like, but then you like that song, but then everybody else you can tell don't like is hating on that song.
Yeah. kind of like that perspective.
That perspective, but like so you like you don't even show it. Oh yeah, I don't like that song,
But then you really do.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, in kind of how you're holding back of like the things that you're passionate about and your true self. And I feel like for me, like I feel like the only way we can grow as people is like we gotta be 100. We gotta be true to ourselves.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, like I think because we grew up in a culture that kind of doesn't let us be unique and let us be different. I think that's why that resentment or that hate comes from, when we see other Tongans trying to do better, of being different, and then that's why automatically we just respond that way. What do you feel like?
I feel like that applies to like all that hate. How they you see them like stepping out of line and stuff. I feel like that applies to like a lot of people that are like that still follow the OG ways.
Yeah.
But then I feel like there's like another. Like say like I feel like there's a group of Tongans who like still follow the OG ways, and then there's like a new wave of polys that follow like the American way, and like when they see someone, like they're the ones that support those Tongans that are doing something different than what the culture like expects of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
so I feel like all that hate from like the the people that follow the OG Tongan ways. Yeah. I feel like that comes from like that group, but then there's also like another group of Tongans who like see that unique new stuff that goes on. They're like, oh hell yeah, like I support that Tongan right there, blah blah blah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, I mean, I don't want to say for everybody's hate, because I feel like sometimes it's not even hate. It's just when they don't understand. It's like,
Yeah, they don't understand and stuff.
So
I feel that.
when you don't understand something, the first thing we do, our nature as human beings, when we don't understand something, the first thing we do is to criticize.
Yeah.
That's just like our human nature.
Mhm.
So when something is just we don't understand happens, we're like, oh, the first thing we do is criticize. And a lot of times, it's like the masses, right? If all your friends start criticizing,
Mhm.
we just follow.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just criticize because that's what everybody else is doing. But deep down, you're supporting because
I've been in those situations before.
I've done that before. I'm not gonna lie, I've done that before where people will talk about somebody and I'll just co-sign. I'll co-sign what everybody else is doing because I don't want people to
so you don't want them to judge you.
Yeah, right. But deep down, I'm rooting for that person. Deep down, man, I want to be that person. Oh man, dang, I want to be like that. But because all my friends, all my boys are not agreeing with me, then I'm just gonna go with the flow. And I feel like that happens to a lot of us.
I see what you're saying.
Has that happened to you?
It has. Has it happened to me personally?
No, either personally or have you seen that in your own?
To be honest, there have been times where it's happened to me personally, where it's I'll be with my homies or with my friends or with my own family, and they'll be like, oh, I hate that. They'll be like, oh, I hate that, but then in my head I'm like, damn, I actually like that a lot. But then I'll be like, nah, yeah, I hate that too. Yeah, I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? But then it was just the thought of me agreeing with them, because I don't know why it is with me. It's just I rather have be it's just me personally though. It's how I think about it. I'd rather that person be satisfied than me. You know what I'm saying? If I were not to agree with that person, they'll just be like, why? What the hell? This and that. They'll get mad at me. But it's if I just agree with them, they'll be satisfied, kind of thing. And it's I don't know. I just feel that's wrong a lot, because they should understand how I feel and stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's kind of just on my my part too. It's kind of my fault that I do that. I put myself in those situations.
I want to ask you about that. We just shit right now. Do you feel deep down you just want to avoid confrontation, avoid conflict?
Yeah, to be honest, I just feel it's a lot easier. When it's just a lot easier to avoid all that stuff, because it's less stress, and it's sometimes I don't even want to deal with that person, because I know that you'll deal with people who always want to be right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's they'll put their 2 cents in and be like, no, it's this and that, and then you'll be like, no, it's this, but they won't understand you. So then it'll just lead to one thing, and then it's just you know what? I agree with you, bro. That's you're right. You know what I'm saying? But then in my head, even though I'll agree with them, I know what's right and I know what I like, and that won't affect me in the future, kind of thing.
No, that's facts right there. Because I feel for me, it's when it comes to either having a discussion with somebody.
Yeah.
For me, if I know that person is not he's not mature enough to have an open mind to listen to what I gotta say, I don't even entertain it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, especially with our parents or the older OGs, because they're set in their ways, bro.
They really are, man. For example, my older sister, she has a tattoo, but she has a tattoo, and she recently trimmed her hair. She didn't cut it no, she's not folklore or nothing.
Yeah,
she just trimmed it, and my mom was giving her hella shit and was like, oh, girls don't get tattoos and they don't cut their hair like that, blah blah blah. And I just kind of felt bad for my sister, because it just felt like my sister wanted to do her own thing and get a tattoo and stuff, and my mom was just saying oh, girls don't do that, this and that, and girls don't cut their hair like that, or blah blah blah, it looks palaku. And I'm like, mom, you gotta relax, man. This ain't Tongan or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She can do whatever she wants now, mom. And it's just I don't know, it's just I don't know how, because my mom doesn't have no tattoos or nothing, but I think she just grew up with knowing that no one has tattoos, no girls have tattoos like that or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know, my sister, I just tell my sister, do your own thing, don't worry about them, this ain't, I always tell this ain't Tonga, bro. You're chill, bro. You're good. Because there have been other times too where it's just my parents are oh yeah, why you guys doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. But it's nothing bad,
Yeah.
It's just they're trying to relate it back to how they grew up, kind of thing. And it's just we don't we grew up two different ways, kind of thing. They grew up in Tonga, we grew up in America. So it's I don't know, man. It's a whole thing of understanding, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like a big majority of our life as Tongans, or even immigrant kids. And if you have immigrant
Yeah.
parents, you can probably can relate to this in all cultures. I think like a big part of our life growing up is just trying to figure out how to navigate our own life within the conditions that our parents set for us.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same, we're just trying to figure out who we are, what we like, but at the same time we're trying to like tiptoe to make sure that we don't disappoint our parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So literally that's our whole life, like just figuring it out, try to figure that out. Because like I feel like that for me, and I see a lot of my own friends, like we all have our own ideas and things we do, but then we always try to like, okay, if you do this, well, because whenever I remember, I don't know if this goes through your head, but as a kid, whenever I wanted to do something with my friends, the first thing that came to my mind was like, okay, what would my mom feel? Would my mom be cool with this? My dad be cool with this?
Yeah, like that's literally what happened to me, bro. Like I'd literally be like, yo, like, oh, y'all want me to sleep over? All right, hold on, let me figure out how I'm gonna tell my parents. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd have
something
to like
something as simple as a sleepover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not being able to like, I don't know, like me, like I wouldn't even have the confidence to like ask my parents that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just have to think about it, man, and be like, shoot, like would they say yes? Like, should I get my friend to ask my parents? You know what I'm saying? Whereas like my friends, they can just ask their parents and then they'll be like, oh yeah, go ahead. Like, because we're just so used to, I don't know, we're just so used to like our parents just like being so hard on us, I guess,
Yeah. And you brought up facts too, like, our parents grew up in a different age, right? And and for me, I used to disagree. We used to argue a lot with my parents, disagree with my parents. But then when I grew up, when I got older, I realized, oh shoot, it's not even my parents' fault. At the end of the day, that's just how they were raised.
Yeah.
That's how it, and that's all they know, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know anything else. So that's all they know. That's how they were taught by their parents. So they're just our parents. A lot of times are just trying to give us the best life that we can. Because at the end of the day, they love us. I mean, no matter how much dies and your parents keep you.
Yeah.
So for all your kids
they
out
still
there,
love us, man.
all your kids out there have a lot of traumatic experiences with your parents. but on the real though, like our parents love us at the end of the day. But the thing is, our parents only give us the best life they can that they know. All right. But it's up to us. Like if we want to change that, we gotta be the ones to like kind of like do our own thing and break that cycle. But that's one of the that's one of the hardest things. I think that's for all Tongan kids. That's one of the hardest things to do. Is just doing your own thing, knowing that your parents may not agree with it, but that's okay.
See, like another thing, like that I decided to do too, like my own thing, is because like growing up, like I've always wanted to play sports and stuff, and I never really started playing sports. Like I never like played it seriously until like I was like 10 or 11. I wish I started at a younger age, but I decided because in college, like I'm playing baseball in college right now. Like I'm not playing football, and it's like you get those general stereotypes of like, oh, Polly's playing football or rugby, right? But I kind of just decided to do my own thing and like go down the path of playing baseball. Because you don't see like you don't really see much Polly's playing baseball, and it's like I get this all the time. Like every time someone's like, oh, like you play rugby, like what position you playing football? And I'm like, no, I play baseball. And they're like, what the hell? I've never seen a poly baseball player before. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm kind of just doing my own thing a little bit,
Yeah.
So that's kind of like another one thing that kind of like helped me go down my own path, is choosing to go a different road in sports. I mean, I was a lot better in football than I am in baseball, but I just decided to go down and do something different,
No, you're smart, bro. You're trying to get that guaranteed money. See, that's smart.
Yeah. See, but it's like the thing is, man, like everyone talks about, making the big leagues, and I definitely had dreams of, making it to Major League Baseball, but I wouldn't say I'm gonna make it there anytime soon because it takes a lot of time, and, what I'm saying. But
it's possible. It's possible.
I found another passion in life, and that's like getting into the entertainment business, and that's something I hope my parents can understand, because because it's crazy, because I actually am I started college as a criminal justice major, and I just recently switched over to being a communications major because I kind of just I kind of just told myself, like, you know, throughout my college years, I was saying like, oh, I want to be a cop, you know, I want to do something in law, you know, but then like, I don't know, man, I kind of outgrew that, and I found like a real passion, and that's just, you know, making people's days better, you know, so something in entertainment, you know, voice acting or something, like just to get into it. So I just decided to change my major to communicate. I honestly haven't told my parents yet that I switched majors, because I don't know how they're gonna react, but you know, I'll break the news to them when I get my degree.
When you get your first big deal.
Yeah, when I get my first big deal, I'm like, hey mom, I'm a communications major. Yep. No more criminal justice.
Yeah, but also I'm got this role in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, I'm gonna just keep praying on it. I'm gonna keep my hopes high for everything I do in life, and we'll see what happens, man.
No, I do. So I do want to talk about that part of your life. You know,
Yeah.
A lot of you guys watching this podcast, you guys already know this is the man, the myth, the legend, LaughwithPak.
Man,
He's the man on TikTok. He's the man on Instagram. If you're Polynesian, and you're under the age of 25 or 18, you probably know who this man is. All right. But if you don't know, go check out his content. He has great content on his page on TikTok, Instagram. Please check him out. I'll make sure I'll have his name and his tags under this podcast. But I do want to talk about that, like your journey of of being unique and deciding that you're gonna be your own person, because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. But just to give you a little backstory of what I did, because I can totally relate what you just said right now.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows, you know, if you're watching this podcast, you already know I started this podcast in May. I've been working at this job for the last 7 years. I was working in door-to-door sales. That was all I've been working in door-to-door sales. I was making good money. I was making good money for the last 7 years, and but I just decided. But the thing is, like you said, like I didn't feel like fulfilled. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I wasn't happy. I wasn't passionate. Like I feel like that I was living my potential in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then and for me, like, I have a family back at home. I have a family in Tongan. The door-to-door sales job, it was good money. Like I was making 6 figures, bro, a year. Yeah, so I had that responsibility as like just any other Tongan child is like, take care of your parents and support your family back home.
Yeah.
And you guys know, the struggle. You get your paycheck's gone.
Yep, paycheck is gone. It's good to look at, but then 2 seconds later, it's gone.
You pay your taxes, you pay your parents, you pay your family.
Exactly. Nothing for you. Nothing for you.
So that's like, if you guys know that struggle, that's literally my life, bro. Like just making money to take care of my parents. But then, like I said, like I just feel like myself that I felt like that. I just felt like that I was unique. I had that feeling within myself, like, I have a passion for inspiration and motivating people. I have a passion for podcasting. I love connecting with people. I like, especially our own community. And then this May, I just decided when the pandemic hit, our job, my job as in door-to-door sales, we had to like temporarily suspend until the pandemic, the quarantine ends, and then we get back to work. I think when the pandemic hit, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I think this is the time. I literally gave up. I literally gave up my career, my job, and just pursued this full time.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying. So that's for me, it's one of the scariest and biggest decisions I ever made for my life. But also, I'm letting you know right now. Ever since I made that decision, I've never felt so much peace and happiness of just waking up every single day knowing that I'm pursuing things I love to do.
Yeah.
Even though right now I may be broke, but I'm surviving.
You're doing what you love, man.
I'm surviving right now. But the thing is, I've made some money. I haven't made, million. I'm not a millionaire or anything, but I've made some good money. But but the thing is, like, for me, is like all that money and doing the things I have to take care of for other people, but I never got a chance to take care of myself and do what I need to do for myself.
Yeah.
So, so for me to make that decision to just kind of focus on me and drop everything, and a lot of people think I'm crazy, to drop everything and move, drop that stability to go pursue that unknown, just take that risk. I don't know what if this is going to work out, but here I'm doing it. So that's probably my journey. So I respect you for that decision that you did, like, to kind of pursue your own, what you want to do for your own major for communications, right?
No, so, yeah, I respect you, man. That's big time, bro. That it takes a lot of guts to just drop your 6-figure job and do what you love, man. I know. No. And that's like that saying, money can't buy you happiness. You know what I'm saying? So
that's facts, bro. That's facts.
Yeah, so you're doing what you love, man. I respect that.
But at least I know. At least I laughed about this time. But at least the happy thing for me is my family knows I don't have any money no more, so they don't ask no more.
Hey, that's the only upside about it, man.
Hey, that's the upside.
They don't ask you for money.
That's for me. That's upside for me, bro. That's the.
Hey, let's ask for money. He's broke. Never mind. Let's call someone else.
Never mind. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'll keep it that way. Keep that narrative. Keep that narrative of me for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Don't ever ask me anymore, please. Like, oh, we need help for this wedding. Let's ask. Oh, no, he doesn't have any money.
Okay.
Literally.
One day when I do buy my house again, everything, I'm just keeping it low.
Keeping it low, man. Keeping it low.
But I want to ask you about it. Can you share that? Can you share your journey on that? Like, because I feel like there's a lot of Tongan kids out there that want to be unique. They want to pursue what they want to do, but in order to go that path, you have to disappoint and disagree with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you is, your journey. When did you start feeling like deep down within yourself that I'm unique? And when did you get to a point in your life? Because I know that's one of the hardest decisions to make is to go against what everybody else expects of you as a Tongan kid. Yeah. Right? Because we love our parents, bro. Like we love our parents. We hold our parents.
It's always family, man.
It's always that like family. It's like our values in life is God, family, everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's our Tongan culture. So whenever you make a decision to go against especially our family, because we love our family so much, to go against what everybody else wants out of you, that can be a big, one of the hardest decisions to make. But I feel like that's also one of the best decisions to make. Also, if you're doing it for yourself, for your own happiness,
and it helps you grow.
For me, I'm a big advocate for happiness, and that's something I will never knock anybody doing what they love to do, regardless if they have to disappoint their own parents or their own family, because at the end of the day, it's your happiness. Because happiness at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I don't want to. There's no point of making sure everybody else is happy. Then you go home and tongue.
Yeah.
You go home in your bed.
Exactly. I'd rather you go home and be happy. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
Be happy. So I want to ask you, man. When did you realize with yourself growing up? You know what? I'm a unique person. I'm different from all these other everybody else.
Yeah.
And then when did you get? How did that courage build up within yourself? You know what? I'm just gonna do this. It is what it is. I'm gonna take that risk. I'm gonna take that leap of faith. And I want you to share that experience, because I feel like, man, there's a lot of Polynesians out there, a lot of Tongan kids out there just like you. We're all unique.
Yeah.
They want to do something for their life. They want to, pursue their career, pursue that relationship, whatever they want to do for their life to be happy. But they're just tied down by that. They're just afraid to disappoint and everybody, because they feel like they have to live up to everybody else, everybody else's expectations. So I want you to share that real quick with everybody.
So it kind of this is a little background, but it kind of goes back to third grade, to be honest, bro. I remember, I literally remember this specifically, man. I kind of figured out about myself, and I grew since then. So in third grade, literally the last day of school, I remember my third grade teacher, I'm not even bullshit or nothing. My third grade teacher came up to me and, he was he literally told me, he was crying. He was like, "I'm really going to miss you." And I was like, "I miss you too, Mr. Borzillo." His name was Mr. Borzillo. And he told me, he was like, "Don't ever change for anybody. Keep being who you are." And, in that time, that's when I was really goofy, and that's when it kind of my goofy stage kind of started. So me being the outgoing, goofy, young kid, ever since he told me that, that's helped me throughout the years. So every year would be a new year, and I'd be all right. And I literally had a goal for myself probably since fourth grade up to my freshman year of college. Every day I would tell myself all right, you got to make the class laugh at least once. And that was my plan, all through, because I remember this, I would literally tally up days of when I would make people laugh. And, that's when I kind of like, and, the fact that people, were laughing with me rather than at me. And, if they do laugh at me, I like kind of make that a joke too. But it's like, just the fact that I was making people's days better, that's kind of what influenced me to start making videos. And, like that kind of encouraged me to like, be a little different and like, kind of just do something that like someone else, like, other people aren't doing. And it's like, especially when I started making videos and stuff, like I started making videos when I was like, I think, it was my third year in college. Cause right now, I don't know if you understand sports in college, right? Like about like redshirting and stuff.
Yeah, redshirting. Yep.
Yeah. So I redshirted in my freshman year of college, and basically right now I should be a senior, but I'm a junior. So I have
redshirt junior. Yep.
Yeah, I'm a redshirt junior. So I have basically 3 more semesters until I get my degree, and so I was a criminal justice major all my years in college and stuff, and even when I was making videos, and people just seeing the support and like the love from different people kind of made me like gave me a light bulb in my head that I wanted to do something different.
You're actually pretty good at this.
Yeah, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to, just seeing that and like, making people smile and making them feel good in high school and stuff. Like that's also what made me want to get into law enforcement, because I wanted to help people. I wanted to be like make people's days. But then like my first year in Kansas, which was this year, my first semester, that's what kind of made me like realize like, oh, like maybe criminal justice is not for me. And like, I started, getting a little, I would say getting a little bit known. I would say known, like on social media, like more people started to recognize me on TikTok and Instagram. So that's what kind of influenced me to kind of change my major and like, pursue like communications, because like I just wanted to do, I knew like I would not be happy if I was going to do criminal justice. I thought I would be, because that's what I wanted to do. But then like I found out that, my real passion all through the years was making people smile and making them feel good and, making people's days. So I just thought, maybe that's what not maybe, but that's what I wanted to do. So, me changing my major and like, seeing the classes that we're going to take, it's going to help me towards what I want to do in the future, rather than me like, writing like, police reports and, all this stuff. Like, I don't see myself doing that. I see myself, continuing to make people smile and making people's days. And, I obviously have some haters out there, but I don't pay attention to them. I pay
always
attention
haters.
to the love, because the love outweighs the hate. You know what I'm saying? So I focus on that. And that's what kind of, I don't know if I'm going off topic or not, my bad, but that's kind of just like me making other people like, happy, even though like, like people would tell me like, oh, like I didn't expect, because a lot of people like they say that, polys are funny and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's my biggest thing is like, I like to, like I've been told a lot of times that I'm funny. I just like to express it on social media, so that not only is my small group of people like seeing it, but like other people are seeing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback what you said, like, you like making people laugh, right? For me, I like, I'm all into empowerment and motivation. I love to help inspire and motivate people to do better.
Exactly.
And like it's just there's a different. I mean, when there's a different type of joy and happiness you feel when you make a difference in somebody else's life.
Exactly.
When you do something for yourself and when you do something for yourself to be happy, I mean, that's cool. I mean, you still feel joy, but when you do something for other people, you know what I'm saying? It's a
different feeling,
and that gets compounded when you do it to thousands of people, especially with social media. Like, because you're doing a social media thing, right? I can only imagine like when you like all those comments or all those compliments come like boom, 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 boom on your page, and you're just reading all these people that you don't know, never met in your life. You know what I'm saying? That like it kind of puts you in perspective. Wow, like there's really thousands of people out there that appreciate my work, what I do, what I'm passionate about, and that kind of just breaks the bubble of everything that you've known. You know what I'm saying? To know, oh wait, I think there's a different path. There's a different life out here, bro. Like
exactly.
It kind of gets you curious, right? Like, oh, maybe maybe that's something I want to try out.
Yeah, see, because that's like you brought up the whole curious thing. Like that's what kind of made me want to like pursue because remember how I auditioned for the role of Young Rock. Like I really wasn't gonna do it. Like I was like, nah, man. Like maybe I shouldn't do it. But then
Can we give the audience some context on that? Because a lot of people don't know what you're talking about right now.
Oh yeah, so so Dwayne The Rock Johnson, everyone knows who that is. He's coming out with the show on NBC. It's going to be airing in February, and it's basically a show about his young life, and it's called Young Rock, and it's going to be basically when he was 8 years old, 15 years old in high school, when he was playing football in Miami, and his WWE years. So it's just going to be like I don't know how many seasons or how many episodes there are, but it's basically just going to be his young life growing up. I auditioned to play the 15-year-old him because, a lot of people on the gram were telling me like social media, ever since I started social media, all it's been was, damn, this guy reminds me of young Dwayne Johnson. That's literally all I've been hearing ever since I started. And, that's what kind of like.
Do the brow real quick, do the brow.
Do the brow. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what made me like, and it was crazy because before that, people were like, bro, if The Rock comes out with a documentary like of a young life, like you should do it. And like in my head, I was like, he would never do that. And then one thing led to another. He comes out with a show about his young life. So I was like, hey man, maybe this might be my chance. So, I was kind of curious. I was like thinking, I don't know if a young Tongan could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I kind of just went against it and was like, you know what, screw it. Like I'll go for it. So I kind of just went for it. And, I came up short. I didn't get it, but that's not stopping me from, bigger opportunities in life. I know God, works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
and, when he closes one door, another one opens,
But for me is like the biggest thing that we can take away from that is you were given an opportunity.
Yeah.
People don't realize how people sometimes focus too much on the result, right? Oh, I didn't get it. It's over. But you don't realize that if you were given an opportunity, that means there are people out there that saw that you had a shot.
Yeah, like right? Potential. Like, they know you have potential.
Yeah, you have potential, right? And a lot of people don't have the mindset to understand that or internalize that. But just because at the end of the day in life, you're not going to get every opportunity you have. That's just facts. You play baseball, you're gonna strike out.
Baseball's a game of failure, man. It's crazy.
You're gonna strike out. Nobody can hit the ball every freaking time. I don't care who you are. All right. But so it's the same thing. Like, I can only imagine like for you, right? Like being growing up as a Tongan kid, right? All of a sudden, somebody from the studios from Hollywood is reaching out to you, like, hey man, we want to give you opportunity to audition. Like I could just in my mind is like, man, like me, probably in your head, like, me, exactly. This Tongan kid, this goofy kid, this bald little kid growing up in the bay, and then just how like wow, like this person thinks that I got this. I could just only imagine like what you were feeling like.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting because like especially hearing like her replying to me, like even a reply. Because, I had to contact her. I had to email her and was like, hey, like, I'm interested in this role. And, the fact that she even replied meant a lot to me because it's like, she's like a casting director. She has to deal with a bunch of other people who want to audition for different roles and stuff. But the fact that she actually replied to me it made me feel good, made me feel really good. And the fact that they sent me a script to do made me feel really good, too.
Yeah. And like you said, like, we talk about being curious, right? That's the thing for me is like, when I just started doing my thing from a motivational thing in the podcast, like at first, we all had our doubts. Maybe I can't do this. I've never done this before. Probably suck at this. But then, like you said, the love I got from people, like people reaching out for me from different parts of the country. When I started posting my content, and a lot of people have reached out to me and like on some deep stuff, like they'd be like, hey man, like your content saved me from suicide. Your content saved me, saved my marriage with my husband. You actually gave me the courage to try something to change my life. Yeah. And just hearing that, bro, like just hearing that from people, how like somebody like me, this average normal guy, just normal
Mhm.
Bob from Tongan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
You know that I have the ability that there's people out there that made a difference, and that lets that I can. I mean, I'm not the greatest, but I'm making a difference in a small level,
Exactly.
and for me that kind of just blew my mind. You know what? And that's if I can make a difference in people's lives, and I'm only putting 10% of my effort into it, or 20, 30, 40%. You know, for me, it got me curious. What if I dedicate 100% of my life
See,
to this thing?
that's what I'd be thinking too, because obviously, I'm in the I'm in the social media game, but it's like I'm not fully dedicated to it because I'm still
Yeah,
going to school. I got to
yeah,
focus on
yeah, yeah.
baseball. I got to
Yup,
focus on my
yup.
grades and shit. But it's like I always think about it like, man, like what if I was like fully focused and I put all my effort into making content, like how far I would go. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what I'm
Because right
saying,
now,
bro? Yup, yup.
it's just right now I'm just like, because I got to focus on, like, that's why when I was in Kansas recently, like I was barely posting like content. I'd post
Yeah,
like here
yeah.
and there because I was too focused on exams and homework and stuff. But it's like I feel like what you were saying, like if I put my all into it, and every day was a new skit. Every day I was going out working with other people, making short films and going from
Yeah.
doing like 10-second TikToks to like 1-2 minute
Minute.
long short films
Yeah,
or
short
something,
films.
like
Yep, yep.
how far I can go, and that's what I plan on doing, like once I'm done with college, because I want to get my degree, because both my parents, they don't have a degree, and
Mm-hmm.
like the highest thing they have is a diploma from high school, and my biggest thing is like I'm trying to get my degree for them, and definitely for myself as well, to for my better future. But it's like once I get that, like I'm definitely gonna just try to focus more on producing more
Bro.
better content and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts, bro. And I mean it's common sense, man. If you put 100% into something, you'll get 100% of the results, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't if you put 50%, you'll get 50% back. But that's what blew me on mind. It's like when I saw people reaching out to me and they love my content and they told me, hey,
Yeah.
if you ever come in, the one thing that got me was like, hey, if you ever come down to my city, please, if you have, one of them asked me, hey, do you have any speaking events? Like there was people hitting me up, do you have any speaking events? Like
Oh shit.
they were ready, they were willing to pay money.
To
Hey,
come see you speak.
yeah, they're like, hey, and I was
Oh
like, no,
shit.
and I told him, no, I told him, no, this is a passion of mine doing the side. That's what I told him. I'm just
Yeah.
doing this. This is something I love to do, but I mean, I haven't thought about making this a profession.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people that were telling me, hey, if you ever come to Auckland, New Zealand, please let me know because I'll come see you.
Yeah.
And pay money. I was like, the light bulb went. I was, oh shit, damn, okay, like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, like there's people out there paying money. But then I realized I was like, man, but I'm only putting 30-40% of my attention on this.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's why I made the decision. I told you about earlier. I decided to move. Right now I'm in LA. I moved to LA. I literally just left my old life in the Bay. I left my family and friends and just came out
Mm-hmm.
here and out here
And
solo dolo.
that's usually how it starts, man. You gotta take the big step and
Yep.
take like sacrifice and leave back, your family or people that you love, just to do something better for yourself.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, like when one day when you make it and one day I'm gonna make it, we're gonna look back at this podcast. Hey,
Oh
don't we
man, we're gonna
talk
look back, man. We're gonna be like,
hey, we were
wow.
talking about this. We were talking about this.
I was like, man, you was in your friend's apartment. I was just in my car.
Exactly. You in your car.
Yeah, man.
With the kitchen in the back with no food in the fridge.
I'm like, yeah, I was in the car with no gas. Yeah, pretty much. Man.
Oh, but we're
gonna look back, man. It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be good.
That's just hella funny. I'm looking back at this video. We're just gonna be dying, bro. No, I do wanna ask you. So I feel like
Yeah.
I wanna kind of add some more value to the listeners. So when you made that decision, okay, I'm gonna do my thing now. What were the biggest doubts? What were the biggest insecurities you had? Because like I told you before, when I made the decision, to come out here and do my thing, it didn't come with baggage, right? There's a lot of things I had to like understand that this is, if I'm gonna do this, I have to be able to take the good and the bad. There's the good, I'm gonna do my own thing, live my own life. I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
The bad, I'm gonna have to deal with a lot of criticism and misjudgment from my own family and friends. So that was something that was holding me back for a long time. That it took me months and months and months I should have, looking back at it, I should have done this a long time ago. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. God always puts us, God always makes us always.
And we all still have time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we still have time, right?
There's always time.
So I want to ask you, right now, you just had an opportunity to be on the Rock show.
Mm-hmm.
You switched your major to communications. Now you're accepting your uniqueness as a person, as a Tongan.
Yeah.
As a Tongan, right? But what were the biggest doubts, insecurities, fears that you had that you just were just always holding you back for a long time? And if you could share that with the audience real quick, everybody.
I think the biggest thing, I still kind of deal with it right now, is kind of because I haven't told my parents that I switched majors yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think the biggest thing that I am like biggest insecurity, I wouldn't say insecurities, but just the biggest thing that's holding me back a lot too is just disappointing my parents.
Yeah.
And, not making
Facts.
them proud kind of thing. Because I think that's what's making me, because they come from Tongan, and America has the land of opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they want what's best for me, but then what I think is best for me isn't the best for them. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again. Say that again. Say that for the people in the back. Say that for the people in the back.
the best for me is not the best for them. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
and that's what kind of kills me, because my parents, my dad, I know my dad still wants me to. He still thinks that I'm gonna he always asks even at your little school, does the MLB still come check it out? And I'm like, oh yeah, Dad. They don't really know that what I want to do is pursue entertainment,
yeah,
because I don't want them to look at me differently. I don't want them to be like, what is mama time me, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? It's just I haven't told that's just one of my biggest things is just disappointing them and them not being satisfied with what I want to do, because they don't understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I want them to do is I want them to understand, because it's all about my happiness, and what I'm trying to break from them is that they still want me to do things their way, but it's obviously I'm gonna respect my parents.
The respect is always there.
The love and respect is always there, but it's I just want them to respect me in return, for what I want to do. And it's what I'm doing is not disrespecting them, or I'm not trying to disrespect them. It's just I'm doing what I love. You know what I'm saying? So it's just yeah. Oh shoot, sorry, I dozed off. I mean, I kind of. What was the question again? Sorry.
No,
I don't know why.
But that's the narrative, culture, right?
Oh yeah.
I think I made a video about this on TikTok and Instagram. I made a video of top 5 poly struggles that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In our culture, right, there's the belief or the narrative is if you disagree or go against what your parents want for you, that's automatically disrespect.
Yeah,
right?
But we're not, and that's the thing. We're not trying to. We're not doing that.
Exactly. But the thing is, in life, not everything in life is black and white, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gray area in life. So just because, like you said, in our culture, if we have an opinion, if we ask questions, right? If we disagree with something our parents believe or expect out of us, it's automatically seen as disrespect. But on the same token, that's how our parents grew up, right? But the thing is, what our parents don't understand, because in order to grow, growth, you have to do things that's best for you.
Yeah, and you have to step out of your comfort zone.
Comfort zone, right? And a lot of times, because this is the thing our parents don't understand, is our parents love us so much and want us to be happy, right? But I feel like they love us too much to the point they're just trying to do everything for us.
Yeah.
But they don't understand. They have to let us go and do our own thing. But I think but that's the thing. I think that's one of the hardest things as a Tongan for me. I'm the same way. Is we grow up. We love our parents so much. We grew up in the culture, in our traditions. We want to make it proud of them. We want our parents to be proud.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, to be real with you. That's one of my biggest fears. Is I don't dwell on it, but I do think about it sometimes at night. It's oh man, what if I'm moving here to LA, my podcast? What if it doesn't work out?
That's another thing with me too.
I really do want to take my family to struggle, bro. I wanna I don't want money to ever be something that's gonna stress me out or stress. I know what the stresses that come with being financially, with not being financially stable.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want my kids to go through that. I don't want my parents to ever go through that.
No, exactly, bro.
But so I have this burden, this chip on my shoulder. I gotta do it. I gotta make it. I have to make it. But then I do sometimes think about what if I don't? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
no, because I have those doubts too. Like that's another thing too. Like that I have is like sometimes I doubt my work. Like I'll record a video, right? And then, like my biggest thing is I want to make people smile, if they laugh, they laugh. If they smile, they smile. If they don't, they don't, But it's like, I always doubt like another big thing with me is I doubt myself a lot. It was like, I'll literally film a whole skit. I'll edit it out and everything. I'll put it out. I'll spend like 3 hours doing it, right? And I'll sit there editing it. I'm like, fuck, man, this is not good enough. So now I'll delete the whole thing. And then I won't record for like a couple more days. And then I'm just like, man, like, and then I think back to it, and I'm just like, oh, bro, that was like a perfect video. Like, why didn't you just post it, Yeah. But it's just, I think that's another problem with me is like, I doubt myself too much. And I just doubt like that my content won't be good enough for a lot of people. But, in my head, but then I have to think about it. Like, I already have a lot of support from a lot of people. So it's just like, I just got to keep going with it,
Yeah.
And like, even if getting that support, and like even like my parents, like they'll know about my videos, and like I'll even have OGs like find my videos, because I'm Catholic, and like the freaking Tongan, because I'm an altar server. So altar serving?
Yeah.
So I've been an altar boy for how many years? Hold on, let me see this. Let me do the calculations real quick.
Oh, you're that
over
guy,
15 over 15 years. I've been an altar server for like over 15 years. So like even the Tongan priest came up to me and was like, oh, you make a YouTube video? And I was like, what? And I was like, nah. And he was like, I seen your video on YouTube. But I think he meant Facebook. And then he was like, oh, you're a funny guy. And I was like, oh, thanks, Pakthepebble. You know what I'm saying? And he brought it up to my dad, and my parents like know I make videos, but they don't know how serious I am for it. So it's like, that's why I just hope that like it's good enough for them, kind of guess,
Yeah. I mean, but like you said, but you like say it's true. Like we just, as kids, man, we don't want to disappoint our parents, man. We don't want to disappoint our parents. But then when you grow older and you realize that, well, the only way that you can pursue what you love, what you're passionate about, you have to be willing to be okay with people not agreeing with what you do, especially the closest people that you really care about.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I shared it with you in early in the podcast. Like when the reason, like we have you and me, we can see the vision, like where we want to be in life. It's so clear, it's very clear. I can see exactly where I want to be. I can see like the person I want to become. It's so clear. The clarity is so clear to me. But I understand that my parents don't see that. My family don't see that.
And that's what we have to do. We have to make them. I think we just have to make them understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah. Go ahead.
That's like the biggest. I feel like that's like the biggest issue is just understanding, and them just kind of sticking to the old Tongan ways, and like that what their ways is like the right ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how they see it. But it's like we all like we said earlier, like we all grew up different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think one of my favorite sayings, I think I heard this from somebody. I think I was listening to like a motivational podcast. He said, "There's no right or wrong way in life. There's only your way." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then like you said, what's best for your parents may not necessarily be best for me.
Yeah.
And what's best for me is not necessarily kind of best for everybody, best for them. So like, what I'm doing for myself in my life, a lot of people are gonna support and love me and give me some love. But there's also gonna be a lot of people that disagree.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's just how life works. That's how life is.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? Even like you said, even Jesus, like not everybody agrees. Jesus had haters.
Yeah. Everyone. There was a lot of people that hated Jesus. But at the end of the day, he came out strong.
Yeah, he did.
Now he has a lot of support.
He saved the world. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Man. So and go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no. What were you gonna say?
But that's not, I just wanted to add that so everybody that's listening out there, like, look, like, disappointing people is part of the path of your own path.
Your happiness kind of
your
thing.
happiness. There's no right or wrong way to determine if what you're doing is right or wrong when it comes to your happiness. It's just your happiness.
Yeah, because like for me, at the end of the day, like I know what I want to do, and it's like my parents, as of right now, like my parents don't know what I want to do. Like they have an idea of what I want to do, but they don't really fully know what I'm trying to do in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, I know that when I tell my parents my plans for the future, my journey, and like whether they support it or not, like I'm gonna still do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that, and I'm gonna just have faith in myself, and that's a big thing too, is having confidence in yourself and like confidence in what you do. That's what's gonna keep you going. Because if you just do it and you have no confidence, bro, like there's no use, man. Because it's tough, and it's like, especially if you don't get like the support system from your close ones. Like as long as you believe in yourself and you keep it going, like you gonna be good. Just keep that faith high, and you're gonna be straight.
I know. I think that's like you said. Like I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do is like being your own fan. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that the people that you grew up with, the people that you love, that care the most, they may not be your biggest fans when you go on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Tongan parents are and Polynesian people are. They won't believe you until you win. They won't believe it until you get
because then they're gonna doubt you. They're gonna doubt you. But then when they see you winning, they're gonna be like, oh. There you go. Yeah, I support him the whole time.
I remember you. I remember. I always believed in you.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, no, you didn't. You didn't, lying man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I was gonna bring up too. Is like they won't believe it until you actually make it. But they don't understand that there's like barriers you got to overcome.
So how there's a way you can measure that, how people won't support you in the beginning. I want to ask you this, and if you want to keep it real with me, when you posted your content for the first time, right? Did anybody that your family or your friends on Facebook or any social media platform, did anybody like it or share it, or was it or was it always the people that you never knew were always liking and sharing your videos?
Honestly, like I had homies because my biggest thing with like liking and sharing is like I don't go out asking for it. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll see who, like I'll let it come naturally. I'll let people naturally do it. So like I think when I first started making videos, like I do remember I had a couple homies on the baseball team who would share it, and they would even shout me out. I wouldn't even ask them. They'd literally be like, "Oh, go check out my boy,"
But what about your family? What about your family and family on those platforms?
Family on my platforms. I wouldn't. I would say, yeah. I have gotten, when I first started. Actually, when I first started, I don't even remember like a lot of like family really reposting it. But there were, I think when I not when I first started, because I kind of kept it low key, but like I think as I began to progress a little bit more, and like I was still like under 1,000 followers, like they would repost it. I'd get like a little support, and like they would eventually find my videos, because I like I said, like I kind of kept it low key. Like in the beginning, and I only kept it in that little group of just my baseball team and like my sisters, but that's about it. But then when people started noticing me and stuff, like that's when I think that's when my other family members found out, and I'd get in the kid, like they'd repost and liked it and stuff. They still showed support, but I think it was the whole idea of me not really putting it out there. Like that's what I didn't get, the whole like likes and shares from them.
I know for me. That's one thing I realized. Like when I post my content, right? Like I always get the most love out of people I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the people that I've been friends with, all my family friends, like. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I don't care. I don't make my videos for the likes. I don't care if you like my video or not. Same. It is what it is. But I do keep tally. Like you said, you keep tally of your laps. I do remember. I just see. But for me, it's like a lot of people won't share or support what I'm doing. But I do know for a fact that if I was a big name, if I was killing it, I was making money, I know a lot of people would.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because like I've experienced that, like even like I wouldn't say family members, but like I have like close homies, like, you know, I grew up with before social media, like, you know, like we were cool and stuff, but we kind of fell off. But then once the social media came up, you know, they repost and be like, oh yeah, like I know, like they act like they know me, but we haven't talked in like years. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll notice that and I'll be like, ah, all right, okay. But like I just let it flow. You know, if they say they know me, I'll be like, oh yeah, we were cool. But it's like I notice how people are when you start when your name gets out there more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to talk about like your journey in social media. You know, I know you started making videos. You know, you blew up. You blew up on social media. So I want to ask you, like, what are the things that you experience now, being a bigger name now on social media that you never experienced before? You know, what are the good things about it?
Mm-hmm.
What are the bad? What are the bad and the scary things about it? And I just want to hear. And also just share. I want to hear like your perspective of what goes behind the scenes of being on social media and making content, because I know a lot of people want to make content, so they probably have the same passion as you. You know, they want to entertain, make laughs, but they may not. You know, they may not know what to do. So I want if you can also share a lot of the work you do behind the scenes. I like how you shared where a lot of times you make a video and then you just delete it.
Yeah.
You know, I actually had the same problem when I first started making videos. I'd be so judgmental. I'd be so critical of myself.
Yeah, right. It's like, but then you learn to not judge yourself and not beat yourself up too much.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I would make a video and then I'll listen to myself and no, you know, I sounded weird, or I said this wrong, or I mispronounced something, or my face looked like crazy, I had a weird eye, or something. And then you know, people, and then and then I'll just delete the video. But then lately, I learned like I have a rule now that once I make a video, I'm gonna post it. There is no if I make something and I put something time in it, I'm about to post it. And it's funny. It's usually the video that I don't want to post ends up kind of blowing up a little bit more.
I feel that.
Then the videos that I wanted to post, and I put a lot of time in. I just don't want. I had this is the perfect video that I had belief in, had faith in, but it ended up not doing so well that I once.
See, I feel that because like there'd be videos that I post on TikTok, I won't even put any effort in, and like they'll blow up. Like I remember one time the video. I don't know if you remember, but I made a video back in June. This was the video that like blew up on TikTok. Like I'm telling you, like I think I got like 14.5 million views.
Yeah.
And it was the one where I did the like where I was like, oh, people say you look like Young Rock, and do the eyebrow, and I like did the little eyebrow in slow motion and stuff, and that literally took me like 5 minutes to do that, and it blew up out of nowhere. Like it was on Sports Center Snapchat, it was on Daquan Snapchat, but then like videos that are like I'll spend like 2 hours making or something, like it would just not, you know, wouldn't blow up as much, and I'm just
couple
like
thousand.
Yeah, a couple thousand. I'm like, you know, for me, it's like I don't care about the views and likes, but then I notice I'm just like, damn, like I just can't. Am I not supposed to try and then I'll blow up or something, or what? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. It's just I noticed that same exact issue.
No. What
it's always funny to me though.
What I realize now, it's not even about the likes and the view. I think it's about your creativity.
Yeah.
So whatever comes in your mind, you gotta let your creativeness just come out.
Exactly.
You know? And that's something I learned about myself, is like, you know, how much effort I put into a video is not going to determine the quality of the video. For me, it's just like the more, for me, I realized now, the more genuine, the more real, the more creative the video is, the more being myself. And I realize now all the videos that I've ever posted that did well, most of those videos was just like genuine creativity. I just thought about it. I just acted upon something I thought of.
Yeah.
I sometimes I'll be driving, and then sometimes I'll be at home, and I think about, I have a random thought, of an idea of a video, and I just act on it without questioning it. And those are always the good ones, because I realize, that's my original creative.
Yeah, and it's unique because it's like for you.
It's your own original thought. Whenever I try to make videos that's similar to other people, because I'm trying to do what everybody else is doing, those videos never take off. But the videos, just my own original content. Me, I just thought about it, and I wasn't afraid to act upon it. Those are the videos that always do good. So now I realize myself, like, when it comes to originality is key.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a big thing, is being original and creative and being yourself. That's what I tell a lot of people is, you know, because I do get those questions like, oh, like how did you get like people always say I'm famous, but I'm like, nah, bro, I'm really not. So, you know, they'll always be like, bro, how did you get famous? Like, how did you blow up? And I just say, you know, I just tell them, I just be yourself, man. Like, you know, do it because like a big thing for me is like, do it because you genuinely love doing it. Don't do it because, you know, for the likes or the views. Just do it because you enjoy doing it. Because if you find joy in doing it, then it's going to be fun for you and it's going to be fun for everyone else.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how I see,
yeah.
you know.
And just speaking back off the originality, like for you, like you're Tongan, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's hella Tongans on TikTok. There's
Yeah.
hella Tongan on Instagram.
Hella
So people don't come. The reason why I always tell people come to you not because you're just like everybody else. Is what makes you different.
Yeah.
That's it. Because they come to your content because you say things. You have a unique way of doing things that people have never seen before, and they're attracted to that. So the more you try to hide that or try to mask that, then you're doing a disservice for yourself to kind of put yourself out there, actually grow on social media or as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what are like I said, what are the good things, you know, I mentioned before, what are the good things that ever since you blew up? I want to share. I want to hear if you have any funny stories you want to share or good stories. How has your life changed now? Being now everybody knows everybody now LaughwithPak is like a well-known name. And how, you know, because back then it was a regular dude, you know, dude. But now you're not, you're a LaughwithPak now. So how's your life changed? I want to hear some stories.
It's cool, man. To be honest, bro, like it's like I obviously like try to, because there's a lot of people like out there who like say they blow up or like they have a lot of followers and stuff, and like they try to they act different now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But me, I try to keep it same. You know, like before social media, I'm like because I'm the same person before and after. But the interactions I have with people are a lot different. You know, especially within the poly community, because I'll because you know a majority of my followers are Polynesian. You know, you know, if I go to a poly function and like, okay, so basically a good thing before I get into that, a good thing about being social media is the impact that I have on a lot of people, you know, making people feel good. Like that's what makes me feel good is the fact that I can make others feel good. And, you know, the fact that I can make people smile and laugh, like that makes me like really happy inside. So that's like a really positive you know, and you know, obviously like I'm blessed blessed to have, you know, the amount of followers that I have and like the amount of support that I have from people. And, you know, I don't take that for granted, man. Like, you know, I let people know, like, I appreciate all the love and support that I've gotten from all the people out there. And, you know, the fact that I can be a positive impact in their life is what, you know, a good thing about it. And, you know, it is pretty cool, you know, getting recognized in public and people taking pictures with you, because, you know, like a lot of people always ask me like, oh dude, like how's it, like has anybody ever came up and take pictures with you? And, you know, there have been a lot of people that taken pictures of me, like with me and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. And, you know, if I like, if anybody ever recognizes me in public, like, you know, like I encourage them to come up to me. You know, don't be scared, because, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not one of those, like, you know, those douchebag celebrities that's oh no, get away, like no, get away from me. You know, I'm humble about it. You know, I'll tell them to come and talk to me, because, you know, I'm a regular person. I'll let them know, like, hey, bro, I'm just like you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I that's what I like, is the fact that, you know, I can make people feel good, and it's been pretty dope. You know, like I remember in Vegas, it was funny. We were in Vegas, and it was like 12 o'clock midnight, and we were driving to the Strip, and, you know, we got an Uber. And, you know, Vegas or Nevada, everyone has dark ass tints because, you know, of how hot it gets. And, you know, it was nighttime, and, you know, when you're driving at night, you can kind of see outside because, you know, our windows over here are not as tinted and stuff. Yeah. Bro, it was like pitch black in the car. And, like, you know, we're driving, I got the passenger seat, and I remember because she was a uli lady. She was our driver. And she was driving, bro. My sisters were on the back, and then like probably like 5 minutes into our drive, it was dark as hell. She's like, "What the?" She turns the light on. She's like, "Boy, I thought you was Dwayne Johnson at first." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then like that was when I was in the middle of social media, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I get that a lot." She was like, "Boy, I'm about to tell my nephews that I just met Dwayne Johnson, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, yeah." And she was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I mean, I still have the picture and the video of me taking a picture with her. And that was like probably one of my coolest things was the fact that, you know, she didn't recognize me from social media, but the fact that, you know, like people tell me like on social media that I look like Dwayne Johnson, and like she was able to say that to me. And it's like she wanted a picture and stuff. She was like a cool person, bro. But it's just, I always talk about that with my sisters, because it's like somebody recognized me as like Dwayne Johnson. Like, and I guess that's like my, on TikTok especially, that's like my what's the thing? My, what people know me as is like Young
Your
Rock.
niche, your niche, your niche.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like my little signature move, I guess. It's
Yeah.
just everyone thinks I look like Young Rock. So it's like the fact that she did that was pretty funny. And it's like that's what I like, is like, you know, that I can make people smile, whether it's just like a small gesture of just like, oh, you look like Dwayne Johnson. Like, can I get a picture? And like, you know, it makes their day, because it's like funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's also, that's like really good, is the fact that I can like move people in like certain ways. But I guess the bad thing about it is like the clout chasers, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people who will use, I don't like saying it, but it's like they'll use my, because I don't want to say I have clout, but it's
Oh,
like
they're trying to use you. They're trying to use it for their own personal gain.
Yeah,
For the personal gain, yeah. To
yeah,
grow
exactly.
to grow their own platform, yeah.
Yeah, because me, I grew on my own. You know what I'm saying? I never asked anybody for shout outs, no likes. I did it because, you know, people came and supported me because, you know, they did it naturally. But it's like, I never asked like big time creators or anybody like, hey, can you help me blow up my page? Like, do this and that. I did it because, you know, I enjoy doing it. And, you know, I just love when people come and, you know, just see what I can offer. But it's like the fact that, you know, there's people out there who like, bro, come on, hey, let's make a video, bro. You gotta help me blow up on TikTok, help me blow on Instagram. Like, I guess that's like the one thing I just dislike a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll make a video with someone because, like, you know, they enjoy my content. You know, they just want to have me in a video, or, you know, they just want to make a video with me because, you know, it's fun. And, you know, I'll tell people like, hey, I'll even go up to people and be like, hey, you want to make a video, bro? Like, you know, because I want to and stuff. But it's just, I think it's just the whole fact about, you know, people like using me for like my
Clout.
my, like, you know, because they can get it. But it's just like, I don't know, I think that's just one of the bad things, because that's really like one of the only negatives I've really had because of social media. But other than that, like, it's and social media, another thing about social media is like you'll experience a lot of hate in social media. I learned that in the social media game is you'll experience a lot of people who hate you and who don't agree with what you're doing. And it's just like, but then what you have to do is you just have to block them out. And another thing too, if someone wants to like start social media, I recommend don't read the comments.
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing is you'll get a lot of comments, and I because like there'll be big time pages, like pages with like, there's one page called the Funny Hood Vids. I don't know if you know them on Instagram. They have like 18 million followers, and they reposted like 3 of my videos, but it was like me doing like the rock look and stuff. You know, like I get a lot of love in the comments, but damn, there would be so much hate in there. But you know, that doesn't stop me from what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just continue on with my day and just kind of just focus on the love rather than the hate. You know?
Yeah.
But other than that, that's really it.
Yeah, I always tell people like, you know, being different, hate, it just comes with the territory of being different.
Yeah.
You know, when you decide to be different and not be like everybody else, that's the price you have to pay.
Exactly.
If you want to be different and want to be your own man.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of what's like the worst hate comment you got, and you're like, damn, bro, you just felt it.
I think I see. I wouldn't really say it was just, I think one of them was because when I make content, like I be making like horse jokes and stuff, because, you know, I want people to understand, like, you know, just I like to like make use of our little horse jokes. I think one guy on Facebook, he reposted one of my videos and was like, is anybody else tired of seeing this guy's videos or whatever? And then I was like, and then I seen hella people like, dude, I don't even know who that is, or yeah, bro, I'm sick and tired of that guy. And I was like, damn. And I seen that and I was like, all right. And that kind of hit me though, you know, it kind of hit me like deep down. I was like, damn, bro, maybe it's just like I had a point where I was just like, nah, should I just like take a break from it? But then I was like, nah, screw that. I was like, am I really gonna let one guy determine the rest of my, you know, career? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's that was probably one of the things that like kind of stuck with me. But other than that, I've experienced like people like, it's crazy. The only time I experience hate is when other pages repost my videos, but no one really hates like through my page. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think that was probably the worst comment, was somebody saying they were tired of seeing my videos. And then I was like, hey, but I commented on the video. I was like, hey man, thanks for reposting it, by the way. I was like, even though you hate it, you still reposted it. So thanks, I guess.
I know
that was probably the worst.
That was the worst. I know anybody that's trying to be on social media, you know, everybody's gonna get hate, and there's always that.
Yeah, you're always that's
you know,
the thing that comes with it, bro. It's gonna hit you with the hate, bro. It's literally what it is. But
then you realize that it's a never-ending cycle. It's always gonna be there. So you realize it just kind of come with it. So it just at some point you realize it's gonna happen regardless of what you do.
Yeah. Facts. You're gonna have people who dislike you and dislike what you do, but you know that's life. You got to move on from it, you know.
Yeah, and plus, what helps me, I realize like, man, there's a lot of people that are out there that are just like it's kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? They live a sad life, so that's the only.
Yeah, you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like
because some people hate up because they just hate because they have nothing else in their life going on for them. It's like, so they kind of like the first opportunity to see something. Oh, let me hate on this dude.
Exactly. No, that's how I see it too. Like, and plus, a lot of people out there who hate, they just do it for the reaction.
Yeah.
They just want to see how you would react. So it's like whenever someone leaves a hate comment for me, I won't be like, oh, like screw you, this and that. They're just trying to entertain the you know, and try to press you. But they only do it for reaction. So my biggest thing is just don't react. Like, don't react like through their comment. You know, just keep it in your head, and obviously like, you know, think about it and stuff, or not really think about it, but just like keep it to yourself. Don't really post it on the gram, and you know, because then they're just looking for it. They just want a reaction out of you. Sometimes they don't even hate you. They just want to see how you would react.
I know. And like it's a lot of people out there, clout chasers. They want for clout because they know you have a big following. So they know if you respond to it, you guys go back and forth, then a lot of people will find out his own profile. So they're doing it for clout too.
Yeah. So I mean that's another big thing is just don't react. Just keep it cool and keep going with what you love doing.
I know. But for me, I don't like it. For me, I kind of when I see hate like that, like motivates me a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like a little fire. It builds a little fire.
Yeah. You know? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
some
like
people.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, you think that your comment is gonna stop me? Nah, hell nah. Look at all these people that love me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I always say, like, you know, the love outweighs the hate. So just, you know, keep doing your thing and just don't stop. Don't stop for that one person.
And sometimes for me, sometimes I do this sometimes, but I don't do it a lot. But like I'll go to that person's profile. And look at, I'm like, bro, this guy really hit on me. Look at.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like sometimes, like I'll get hate comments, and I'll be like, bro, who is this? And I'll look at the comment, be like, oh, no wonder they're mad, and I'll just leave.
Yeah. Look at their life, their pictures or whatever they post about their life. I was like, bro, you really hit on me, bro.
Yeah, no wonder you're depressed, my guy. Come on, it's okay. Just laugh it off, my guy. Just laugh it off, man. So I just let him be. I just let him be, man. You know, that's all it is.
I know. Hey, also I do want to have a question because I feel like this is a question a lot of people probably wondering.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, since you become a big star on social media, how's those DMs looking? Did it pop? Because I know there's a lot of Tahinas out there, man.
You know, man.
It
is a blessing and a curse. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest though, like I get a lot of there are a lot of like I appreciate a lot of the girls that there have been a lot of Tahinas that hit me up. They tell me that I'm very attractive and stuff. I let them know that I appreciate them. I just tell them like, oh, like, hey, like, thank you. And I appreciate, because, growing up, bro, I used to have be insecure about how I look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I used to think bad about myself and, used to hold but then the fact that, I was getting, compliments, like it made me feel good, So I would just let them know like, hey, I really appreciate, and, hearing those compliments made me feel good inside, and it built gave me more confidence to in myself, because, just what they were saying. And, there are a lot of beautiful Tahinas, that would compliment me. So it made me feel good. It made me feel good, man. So that's what I just let them know I appreciate them and stuff.
I know, baby. You probably saw your DMs. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty dope. It's dope, but it's like, I kind of keep it cool. I'm not like one of those like dogs that go out and do that stuff. Nah, I keep it cool. I let them know like I appreciate for your kind words like this and that, and I let them know that I feel good.
I know. It's funny. I've had some girls hit me up on social media. For me, it's just like sometimes like, there's a part of me like, man, maybe I should like respond to this or like give him a chance. But then I don't know. I guess it's just like this feeling for me is like, would they react the same if I wasn't big? If I wasn't big on social media.
See, there are those issues because it's like it goes back to clout chasers. You know what I'm saying?
Clout chasers, right?
Like sometimes they'll do it because you have a lot of followers.
Exactly.
But they won't do it. Like that's what I think too. It's like, damn, would they really be telling me this if I was, have like 1,000 followers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like most of the comments or the compliments are very genuine, and I do appreciate that. But it's like sometimes I do have those thoughts where it's like,
yeah,
would you still like me if I was down? Because I mean, I'm kind of doing good right now, but it's like, man.
Exactly. I've been thinking about that too. So this is I'm saying that this is a question for a lot of for the female viewers. This is a question I think the female viewers will love. So what's your type of girl that you look for in a woman? What's your type?
Type of girl I look for in a woman. So I don't really have any, or for like preferences on like personality.
What are you attracted to? What do you look for in a woman? This is a question for all the female viewers out there just watching this.
So basically I just look for someone I can relate to. Somebody who we can communicate well. We on the same page. Kind of reminds me of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I want somebody who can be close with my family, who can, be close with my sisters, and someone my parents will love, and definitely someone that's goofy. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want, I don't know if I'd do well if they were boring or not. I just want them to kind of be like me, and I want them to be comfortable around me. So basically, somebody who's loyal, who I could trust, who reminds me of myself, and who definitely is family oriented.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So by you answering that question, automatically lets everybody know that you're single.
Yeah.
I didn't have to ask you that, but I did that for the ladies.
I am definitely 100% single. Yeah. That was good. Oh, wow, I didn't even. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's a good way to see if somebody's single, man. Wow. Yeah.
So, ladies,
very single.
so ladies, you watching this? Hey, my man, LaughwithPak is single, bro.
Yes.
So
make sure you love God and family.
Love a guy who's goofy, maybe make a
love
little
God,
goofy.
You're goofy, and you love family. That's all that matters.
I'm telling you, hey, I'm gonna die laughing right now if I go on TikTok, and then all these girls making TikTok videos. I'm goofy. I love family.
Oh my! I'm like, wow. I wonder where they heard that from.
After this post on YouTube, and then all of a sudden there's like a big rush of all these videos coming on TikTok, all these girls, and it tags me.
It's like, oh, I'm goofy. I love God. I love family. I'm like, wow. Do you really though?
Yeah. But then they look at all the other videos they posted. Your dance is kind of doesn't.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah. Your other TikTok doesn't stay the same message.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Oh man, for sure. Hey, I want to ask you something because I want to get back to the culture real quick. So, one of the biggest things I'm passionate about is just and that's why I love what you're doing. Because we have an opportunity to impact people.
Yeah.
And for me, I want to help the world. I want to make this world a better place. But I also want to start with our people first. I gotta start home. Tongan, Tongans is my home. I'm gonna start at home. And then branch out to everybody else. But for you, what are the things that you see? I mean, you have a lot of Tongan friends, you have Tongan family members, especially our generation. Like, what do you see that what a lot of Tongans struggle with in their life? And it can be anything. So you can be open up to anything, whatever you see. So just hang around a lot of Tongans, seeing with your Tongans and family and friends. What do you see Tongans struggle with in their life the most, based on your own experience?
I think a lot of it has to do with, I think one of the main things is just like financially.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of Tongans are not like financially stable when it comes to when they come out here and stuff. And it's like, you know, my parents or my dad always told me about how he grew up and how, you know, he had to go climb coconut trees and get fruits, and he would wake up and just go farming. You know,
Yeah.
he'd go to school, come back, and just go straight to the fields and help his parents, like, you know, grow crops and stuff. So it's like, and like coming here, like, you know, it's still, you know, it's still a struggle. Like we live in like, I'm still blessed with how we're living, you know what I'm saying? Like we have money and stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, I feel like a big issue is just like the whole thing about money and like having to worry about money. I think that's a big problem that a lot of Italian people struggle with, is just being financially stable. And like I think that a big problem, and like another, and like, you know how we were talking about the whole thing about our family understanding, is like, I think that's another main issue, is the fact that like the OGs don't understand us younger generations. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like how like the whole thing about, even though we're in America, they still want us to live the way they used to live in Tonga. You know what I'm saying? But they still want the best for us, but do it their way, kind of. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's another big issue. Just basically being financially unstable, and just that issue of understanding what we really want to do with our lives.
Yeah, that's something I see a lot too. You know, the struggle, you know, the cycle just keep repeating over and over.
Yeah.
So, you know, for one thing I always tell people, like if you wanna stop that cycle, that you have to, somebody in the family has to do something different.
Yeah.
You know, I think Denzel Washington said, like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna keep getting what you're getting, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you know, so I guess, you know, it's common sense. If you want to get out the struggle, you have to be successful, right?
Yeah.
So when I ask
And I
you,
think,
go ahead.
another thing too is like, another struggle I see with like a lot of Tongans and stuff is the fact that like a lot of them don't finish school.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of them don't take education seriously, and they don't, like, you know, either they're done with high school, like after high school, like they're done, or like they don't even want to go to college. So that's why, like, I think like there's like, because when I see like a lot of Polynesians, like a lot of Tongans, like, you know, graduate from college or graduate from high school, like it makes me hella happy, because I know that, you know, it's different. Like a lot of, because I notice that a lot, is that a lot of them like drop out and stuff, and like most people, their highest um form of education is just high school, and like a lot of them don't pursue college. So I think that's just another issue that I see with our Tongan people, is the fact about school.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that originates from our parents just wanting us to live the life that they live? Because I feel like a lot, because you know, one thing I've heard a lot of girls, like, I don't know, guys may be a little bit different, but I have heard a lot of Tongan girls, right? Like all they wish for, all they hope for is just getting married, and then and just be out, and like after they graduate high school, they just want to get married and be a housewife, and that's like their hope and their dream. There's nothing beyond. There's nothing beyond that, and uh, I feel like that's one of the main problems of our parents not allowing us to experience other things or other ways of thinking, or different expose us to different things. Is you know, they just raise us to be like them. Hey, just go to school, you know, just do enough for school and go to high school, at least get to high school, but just you know, you know, that's what they say all the time. Just ask me, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? You know that if you're single, if you're in your 20s, you're single, you're gonna get that question every day from the family reunion, right? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? And I feel like a lot of times that's what most times just like hope for, is just like that seed has been planted within us early, young, so we just grow up thinking, you know, our main goal is just be like our parents, just get that, go to high school, at least get a high school degree, because that's what our parents got, and then find a wife and find a husband and get married, and that's it, and just, you know, And I feel like that's as far as they hope for, because that seed has been planted, because our parents put a lot of expectation, pressure on us to follow what they want out of us, and then as kids we just follow through. And I see it. I've heard girls and I've heard guys as well. Just I'm just gonna do this because that's what my parents told me, or that's all they've ever known. Do you feel like that's the reason? Do you feel like that's the reason, or do you feel like or there's another reason behind why our generation of kids or culture of our kids don't even pursue either a higher education or even dream about something higher than what they're in?
I think in a lot of cases like that, like what you're saying, like definitely has an impact on their way of pursuing higher education. But I also feel like it also has to do with like motivation and like being around the people that they're around. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of kids
culture,
like I feel like a lot of kids don't have, like a lot of Tongan kids don't have that motivation to keep going with their life, and I feel like they don't have that, what's it called, that person, like that person to, I guess, what's the word to say? I don't want to say it like, because I don't mean it in like a rude way, but it's like they don't have that person
a role model,
I guess, like to look up to, that like they don't have someone who's like, oh yeah, well my uncle went to college, he got a degree, like, or I'm gonna do the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't have that person to look up to, I guess,
they don't
to motivate them to keep going. But it's like not in that way though, it's like in a respectful way, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's like because they've never seen it happen before, they don't believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to tell a kid, hey, you can be a great entertainer in Hollywood when everybody in their whole family is yacht.
Yeah.
When they even if somebody told you that, you're like, oh, you're smoking drugs, right? Like, stop. What do you, to me, Hollywood, get out of here. Right.
Exactly.
I feel like we become a victim we become a victim, a product of our own circumstances. Right. So whatever your culture is, your family is, then that's gonna be your reality, because that's all you see.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is, and I want to ask you this, and I think I do really want to hear your answer, because I've experienced this, right? So obviously, people know that I'm different. All right. I don't believe. The number one is, I don't believe I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm better than any Tongan. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I just realized for myself that I'm just different. Right. So, and what you said was very good. It was very powerful. Like, you have to hang around people that are aligned with your goals and dreams. Like, you can't, if you, like, I always tell people, if you want to level up, you got to level up your friends.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can't remain with the same people you party and drink with and expect to accomplish everything. Like, what's that thing I always see on people post on social media? You become a product of the 5 people you hang out with the most, something like that.
Oh yeah. Like you're a product of your own environment.
Yeah, environment. Yeah. Or what? I don't. Have you ever heard Eric Thomas?
Eric Thomas,
the hip hop preacher, the motivational speaker. That if you want to be,
I don't know names, but if I see them, I'll probably know who it is.
Like the guy that says, you want to be successful as much as you want to breathe.
Oh yes, I have. Yes.
All right. So one of the things I love, one of his favorite phrases that he always says, like, "Show me your friends, I can show you your future."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I love that. But I want to ask you this question. So for me, I'm different, right? I got my mindset, whatever I want to do, is different from everybody. But I realized that, because I was kind of reverse engineering, like, why am I this way? Because if you look at my brothers and sisters are like, they're like this, the epitome of what a Tongan is. Like, this is the Tongan life, lifestyle. My brothers, like, I'm totally opposite of my brothers and sisters. Like, if you meet me, like, a lot of times my brothers and sisters they always tell me I'm adopted.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. But I'm totally, like, I'm way off field. Like, I went this. My brothers and sisters went this way, with their life.
But you went a different route.
I totally went off the rails.
Yeah.
Right. But then I look back at it and I realized, wait, before I used to feel bad about not hanging, because growing up early in my childhood, I didn't even grow up with a lot of Tongans.
Yeah.
I was always, I went to high school in Texas with La Palangis, right? So I look back at it, it's like, wait, I think for me, I realized one of the biggest reasons why I'm kind of different is because I didn't grow up with a lot of Tongans. So I never became a victim of the environment. I never of the environment because I was always around Palangis and I listened to Palangis talk about this and this and this, what they want to do. So I absorbed their mindset. Their mindset of my surroundings, and I always tell myself, man, if I would have grew up with Tongans my whole life, I don't think I'll be the person that I am today.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like looking back at it. I used to feel bad. I used to feel like, oh man, I'm not Tongan enough because I wasn't around because people used to judge and criticize. But then I look back, I'm glad I didn't hang around. I didn't grow up with a lot of Tongans because I would have just fell into that lifestyle, that mentality.
Yeah.
Because I was hanging around with Asians, I was hanging around with white people. I learned different minds of thinking beyond my culture, beyond what my parents taught me. So that was a blessing for me. That was like a blessing in disguise. So I want to ask you, do you feel like that also plays a big role of why you're doing what you're doing, why you became the person you are today? Because you grew up with a lot of Balangis and you didn't grow up with a lot of Tongans.
I think it definitely does. I think play like a big part, because I mean my parents always talked about like because my parents they whenever they see Palangis, like they think that they're good people and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like they're always like, oh, hang around the Palangis. Like they always used to tell me like it was good to hang with the Palangis and stuff. And I always I think when I surrounded myself by those people of different cultures and like saw how they were going about school and going about their own lives, like it was just like, damn, like maybe, and like I can see a difference. So it's like I think that's also that's what motivated me to do what I'm doing now. And especially with social media, like I would see like other influencers and I'd kind of just take notes off them, and it's like I would have homies that like reflect those influencers. So it's like I guess what like basically what I'm just trying to say is like, yeah, I think being around those different ethnicities and different groups of people and stuff like that definitely motivated me to go down the path that I'm going down now.
Yeah, and I always, that's what they always tell my my younger sibling or my younger cousins and nieces. I always tell them, look, like try hanging around different types of people.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, hang around. Stop. I always tell them, look, stop hanging around Tongans, bro. And I don't want to say in a disrespectful way. Right. I'm not saying that because like I feel like the Tongan, I'm better Tongan. No, it's just like I always have, look, if you want something more or something better, you gotta hang around the people that have the same vision and goals. If they happen to be Tongan and they have the same vision and goals, great. If you can find those Tongans, all right, in La La Land.
Yeah.
All right. But if you come to reality, like I said, but the thing is, like we have this, like, I guess we want to fit in. I guess that's what I'm saying. We have this like, oh, I don't want to be different. I don't want to be stand out. I want to fit in like everybody else because I don't want to be talked about. But I was saying, man, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with going outside your culture.
No, I always tell people that too. Like, there's nothing wrong with hanging around with, like, because I used to get hella shit for it. Like, people would be like, dude, you hang out with too many Palangis, bro. And I'm like, bro. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always good to step out of your comfort zone and hang out with people of different backgrounds and stuff, because then you learn more about yourself and about them, and you have better knowledge of the world, I guess,
you limit your own growth and your own knowledge of learning, like
exactly,
you know what I'm saying, like I'm sure there's a lot of our culture has a lot of value in it, but there's a lot of things our culture don't know.
Exactly.
All right, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to success, higher level success, right? Because if our culture, when I always tell those people like, hey man, hang around too many Balangis, but I was like, yeah, but those Balangis are CEOs, business owners, they're making things happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it was just common. I just with common sense, I was looking at everybody like, wait, everybody living this way, and they're working in these type of jobs out of the airport, out of the yate, out of the. I was like, it's common sense. You just put the dots together. Right? If I do the same thing they do, I'm gonna end up doing the same thing. Basically living the same life. I'm like, and I was like, I don't want to live that life. I want to live something different. It's like, it's just common sense for me. It's like, I'm gonna try something different because I know
being different. There's nothing wrong with being different. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good that comes. Like, it's good. I like to be different. It's good to be different.
I know.
You're unique.
I think that culture has there's like a stigma. There's a stigma when it comes to being different. It's like, oh, the Tongan word is like fear me, oh, fear me, fear me, wanna be this, wanna be. I'm like,
yeah,
like, bro, chill, bro. I was like, damn, bro.
Exactly. Like, that's just my life, man. Let me live my life.
I know, right? It's like some of the changes you do is just like not even a big change. It's like even the smallest thing is just hang around different people.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you is we're talking about role models, right? You're talking about the thing is a lot of Polynesian kids, we just don't have people. That's why I feel like The Rock. I love The Rock. The Rock is one of my favorite people in this world, and one of the people I like to follow on social media too.
Yeah.
That's why I love The Rock. But like I said, the good thing is like the Samoans, they have The Rock, so like you can always tell the kids, hey man, like if you want to be a movie star, it's possible.
Yeah.
All right, and that's why I'm really, really big into motivation and empowering people and allowing. Like I said, that's why I started my podcast. I want to reach out to not only like entertainers like you, but I want to interview doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I want to interview anybody that's doing well for themselves, for their own life, and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want them to share their stories. So all these kids growing up, they don't see that success or that better life in their own family. Because everybody knows, we keep it 100. There's a lot of broken families out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids out there dealing with broken parents, abuse. There's just a lot of shit that's happening at homes that we don't talk about in our community, and we just act like everything's okay. But that's why I started this thing, so that way we can talk about it, so people can see, hey, there is a better life than what you're living right now. So I want to ask you, did you have anybody like that in your life? Like, were you just like inspired by your circumstances or what you went through in your life, or was anybody you look up to in your life right now, or early in your life that that kind of had an impact on you, on your level of success or of making changes in your life?
I think a big thing growing up was that obviously, like, my parents are like, they're like they're still accustomed to like a lot of the OG ways and stuff. But I would say that I do look up to both my parents still, because just in like their work ethic, I guess, and like how they go about things. Because there's a lot of negatives that go on, and obviously there's like a struggle that we live through and stuff. But it's like just the way that they go through it and how strong they are through their situations and stuff. Like that kind of motivates me to just, no matter what situation I'm in, no matter the struggle that I'm going through, like I'm gonna be strong through it. And I'm gonna still, even though I'm struggling, like I'm gonna still help out my family, like no matter what. Because my parents, they like, we struggle and stuff, but they're both hardworking and stuff. And I see the way that they go about it. Like, even though they like, they might not like their job, they might be stressed out and stuff, like they might be super stressed, they might be they might not be getting what they want right now through their job, but they're still like, they're still working hard, and they've always been like that their whole life. So it's like, I guess the whole thing about working hard, being humble, and always staying strong through anything, I got from them. And like the whole thing about like I said earlier, like my mom, her goofiness and stuff like that kind of played a part on me, onto how, like, who I am as a person. Because her goofiness, I took that growing up, and I've been the goofy guy and the loud one, the outgoing one, and that's what kind of influenced me going on Instagram and stuff, and pushing me to go forward. And a lot of people, especially on social media and stuff, like there's big time creators I even look up to, like do you ever heard of Long Beach Griffey?
No, I never heard of
Long Beach Griffey, he's a uli guy that's in Long Beach, and he makes content, but his content is definitely different than mine, because he definitely, like, it's like more out there, you know what I'm saying? But just the way, like, I used to see him like work the cameras and stuff, and his angles, like I kind of took that into like how I want to make my videos and stuff. So it's like he's one of the big time influencers that made me want to do it. But like, just growing up, like, and like seeing our struggle and stuff kind of motivated me to do better, and have a better life. And I definitely want to repay my parents back in the future and stuff. So it's like they've done a lot for me already, and it's like I want to give back to them. So it's like I definitely look up to them in like in certain ways and stuff. So yeah.
I think that I think for me, I think it's the same way for like like I told you before, I grew up in Tongan and moved here. Seeing it's like every Tongan kid goes, we all go up in the struggle and we all want to help our parents, but I've always been like fascinated by like what our parents had to go through just to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as kids we don't really appreciate that. We kind of take things for granted.
Definitely don't.
But think about it. Also, like think about it. Like they had to move to a different country
when they were young.
When they're young, don't know the language.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even have a resume, job application. Some of them they didn't have a degree, and they just come here and start a new life. And they were able to build the life that they're currently living now. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like that's motivating for me because it's like my parents did all that so that me and my siblings can live better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I think that's what like also keeps me motivated as well. Like, even though like say my parents don't end up supporting what I do, right?
Yeah.
Like it still motivates me to do it for them because like they did all that just for a better life, and it's like, oh shit. And wait, can you still see me? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, yep.
And it's like they can still like they gave me the opportunity to live to go to college over in America, go make content over here for a lot of people and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, I definitely just what they've been through is like motivating for me.
Yeah, and then for me, it's like one of the biggest lessons I got from them is like is not giving up.
Yeah, definitely not giving up.
I know. I mean, we all go through it. Sometimes we all have doubts and we go through hard times. But for me, I was like, man, our parents, they go into a lot, but then they still didn't give up.
Yeah, they never gave up. No matter what it was they were going through, they never gave up.
They never gave up. And imagine if they would have gave up, like, I can't do this no more.
Exactly, right? But they never did. Well, hold on. Hey, I'm going to walk into the house right now because my phone about to die.
All good. It's all good.
Keep me posted. Sorry. I thought I'd just come out here.
It's all good. We get to see the exclusive crib of
you know what I'm saying? Here, we're in my nice little neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Very suburban, very whitewashed as well.
Nice.
Hey, Jeffrey. No, just kidding. We're going to make our way inside real quick.
I see a lot of peace and quiet. I like that.
Very quiet. Very quiet. Until you get into the house and you hear my mom talking on the phone. Definitely not peaceful. Hold on. Give me a second. Hello. I'm on the phone. Sorry. What? I'm on the phone. Just know I love you guys. What the heck? What are you doing here? Hey, hold on. Yeah, hi. Okay, go over there. I gotta go do something. I gotta go on the call. No, I gotta go on the call.
Always. The exclusive tour of
the exclusive tour. You've seen a couple videos in my room. This is my room. But yeah, no. Sorry. What were we talking about again? Here we go. Just connect to the charger. All right. We're all good now.
No. We were just. Oh,
sorry. Hold on. Hold on.
Yep. All good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Perfect. Sorry about that. That was very hectic.
No, we were just talking about not just appreciating a lot of kids nowadays not taking their parents for granted.
Yeah.
What they've done. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like for me, it's like I always. That's why I don't give up because I know my parents didn't give up.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that's it. And also, sometimes I hear like sometimes I don't hear some of my friends like crying and whining. I'm like, bruh. I was like, bro, you guys don't understand like what. For me, I do. I've happened. Sometimes I complain sometimes, but then I always like pause for a moment. Like, hey, wait, stop complaining, man.
Yeah, and that's normal, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's normal.
I know. I don't dwell on it. I'm like, it is what it is. I have a problem. Let's fix it. Let's move it. But that's the thing. Like, I just understand. Like, what you said it best. Like, if you want to change the situation, you just gotta do things differently.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So for you, as far as like the communication between you and your parents and your family, is it pretty open? Is it pretty open?
Yeah, it's pretty open and stuff. Yeah, I would say it's open. I let them know like what I want to do and stuff, and I think it's just the fact that I think think the reason I haven't told them yet, because I like about my whole like change switching majors and stuff. I think it's because like I just got home like probably like a week ago. So it's like I just want to enjoy myself, and like, you know, if they get mad, I want to just save that. So, and I'm like let them know, as long as I get a degree, it's a degree is a degree. So it's like, but other than that, like communication with them is pretty open and stuff. You know, they understand most things, and they don't understand a lot of things. But you know, so far it's pretty open between all of us. There's still those times where it's like I struggle to ask my parents for things, or like struggle to ask them to go out, because like they'll question me and be like, why are you going out? Why this? You should be reading the Bible, this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I do want to. So you did mention you're Catholic, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to ask you, like, how's your how's your faith, and like faith is like, because this is one of the common questions a lot of people ask. I see a lot of Tongans, like, because all of us, we grew up in the church. Sometimes everybody goes up to some type of church, and then sometimes like there's this expectation to live this certain life to be perfect.
Yeah.
Right? One thing I know about you, and then one for me is like, I love, for me, like I realize for myself, like, sometimes your lifestyle may not be not only agreeable with your own parents, but maybe agreeable what the church thinks of it.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever go through that, like, where you feel like, okay, I can't do this because maybe it's not what is going to impact my relationship with my church, or what people might perceive and think about you?
I think like one thing that like I do, because social media, like I like to make my content like family oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I think if I expanded my horizon, I guess, and like did more explicit, not really explicit content, but like added more explicit to like my content, like, and stuff. Because I have hella ideas that I want to do with like my videos and stuff, and it's like,
that's what I
I
wanted
feel
to
like
ask.
I feel like the fact that, say, I'm Tongan, and the fact that we have that whole apa thing, right?
Yeah.
And the idea that, and the fact that, because my dad's like, we call him the Tauhi. My dad's like one of the main guys like in our Tongan community at church. So it's like, I think the fact that he's the Tauhi, and like I'm the altar boy and stuff, and it's like we're so like deep, like rooted into like our faith and stuff, or at least my family is and stuff. Like I feel like that's what stops me from making certain content. You know what I'm saying?
But I want to ask you, like, are you eventually gonna go into that content?
That's what I honestly like. That's what because I really want to. You know what I'm saying? Like I have so many ideas that would get me, because there's like so many icons. Like obviously, I'm not gonna like make like inappropriate content. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, we know the.
It's just like I want to like be more open about my content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I've thought about that. I have thought about that, but it's like, because in the beginning, like I even have videos like archived on my page, but I had to delete them, because when I first started making videos, I would like cuss. I would cuss in my videos and stuff, and I would just do stuff that would be like funny and stuff. But then like I realized that, like my aunties, my sisters, my little cousins, the priest would see my videos. So it's like I didn't want that, I didn't want that to them to look at me differently, and like look at my parents differently. So it's like, that's why I had to delete those videos and start fresh and do like more family. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty successful. The whole family oriented stuff, it's been pretty successful still, even but I mean, there are ideas that I want to do that, like.
But you want like you say, you want to expand your horizon, like challenge yourself, go to different things, try different things.
There have been times where I want to do that, but it's like I know I can't, because of how my dad is in the church, and like who, like being Tongan and stuff, and the idea of just respect and stuff. So that's why I just had to hold off on doing that for now. But I do plan on expanding that horizon, probably later on, or after college, or when I get more serious into the whole entertainment thing.
Yeah, that's one of that's I can relate to that, because I remember like when I used to make videos for myself, especially when I used to make motivational content. I would try to avoid like cussing.
Yeah.
All right. But then I realized, like, sometimes, like, even if I say like the words like shit, I know, like I'll feel like, oh my god, it's terrible.
Exactly.
But then I realized but I realized like I said, I learned like originality. And then also I think a lot of people downplay this. It's when you're making videos and making content, it's all about intention.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what I always say to people, like if your intentions are clear, if you're making content just to like cussing because you want to, your intentions are not in the right place, because then that's different. But like I think if you make content but then your intentions is not to portray it, to perceive it the way you want to perceive it, but even though you may say some things that people might think is like not good language.
Yeah.
But like you said, your intention is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Like comedy, right? I love. Do you watch stand-up comedians?
Yeah, I watched a couple of them. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of the Def Jam comedies.
Who's your favorite stand-up comedian?
I would say Chris Tucker was probably my favorite.
Yeah, so
like OG Chris Tucker,
Yeah, for me, like Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians.
Oh, Dave Chappelle go crazy too.
And I think he talked about it one day in the interview. He was like, "Look, I did my intention is to make people laugh. So if you don't disagree with my opinion or of the joke, no matter how how brutal the joke can be,
yeah,
it wasn't my intention to say it out of hate. I'm a comedian. My job is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna challenge the territory and do say whatever I want to say to get a laugh. And at the end of the day, people forget it's just jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So
because they know the intentions.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, I think especially if you're pursuing what you want to try to do for your life, if your intention is to pursue what you want to do and be happy and achieve your goals and dreams, then just don't go far off field.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I understand that.
Don't go crazy, but yeah, that'll be interesting. But that's something I always like to watch within the comedians or people's social media influencers is when you see it. One thing I like to do when I go to people's page, especially big influencers, is go to their original content in the beginning and watch their videos from the beginning and see how they progress. So I think that's kind of cool.
Like as they grew as a content creator.
Yeah, that's the first thing I like to do is when I go to somebody's page, I see a piece of their content, I like it, and I go to their page. The first thing I do is I go all the way down, scroll all the way down to the first video because I just want to see where they started.
Yeah.
And then you see that, oh man, some of their content was like really conservative in the beginning, but it was good. But then they
started like getting out of that bubble kind of thing.
The bubble gone. But then you realize that they realize their own intention. Oh man, I'm doing this to something that I enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey man. Man, we had a great podcast, man. We shared a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stories.
We definitely did, bro. We definitely did.
Man, is there anything else you wanna, man? Is there anything else you wanna talk about, bro? Because I feel like, man, you shared some great things. You talked about your life. You talked about everything, your goals, your dreams, the life of a influencer, the life of a celebrity.
I think one thing I want to mention too on the podcast is just the fact that because what I love doing is I love to motivate other like poly content creators. I like because I get happy whenever I see like polys making skits and doing it, like especially Tongans like doing that, because that makes me happy because it's like hell yeah, like you're doing it, like keep going, like whatever. If like just to any polys out there, or just anybody in general, like if you want to start making skits but you're too hesitant to do it, I just say do it, bro. Like if you have ideas, write it down because those ideas will turn into videos. Those videos will blow up and you never know the impact you'll have on people. Because that's how I started. I had ideas, I wrote them down, I acted upon it, and then now I'm like, I have an impact on a lot of people's lives. So it's like they can do the same thing too. And I just want to push people to go for it.
Hey, I share with you a funny story. So when I found out about you, I was, oh man, it's hella cool, man. See you doing your thing. And then I remember seeing you commented on one of my TikTok videos. Because when I got on TikTok, I started entertaining myself. Like, I should make some funny videos about Tongans content. I made this video with when Tongans get married. When Tongans get married, and they just moved from the upstairs to the garage.
Yeah, I remember that video because you were like, "Oh, I'm about to move out," and you came down the stairs and you went right to the garage.
No,
I remember that video.
Yeah, I remember because when I got on TikTok, I was just making fun. Like that was during the quarantine when the pandemic hit.
Yeah,
So
I remember. You had your suitcase and everything.
Yeah, I had nothing else to do. I was let's make some fun.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember you posted a comment. Hey, like I forgot you put like funny. It was funny or something. You said something.
Yeah.
But then I saw that. I was oh shit! LaughwithPak saw my stuff. I felt kind of proud at that moment. I was like, oh man, the man himself.
Appreciate that, man.
The man himself gave me some love, bro. The original comedian, the original comedy of a concept of Polynesian content. Said what's up. I remember that. I remember that day. I was like, oh hell
I appreciate that, man. See that like that. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, man, for real. And it's like, like another thing for you too, like even though like you stepped out of your comfort zone and you're doing your own thing now too, bro. Just keep going, man. Keep going. Cause I mean, I still have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I feel like I still have some, like I have some time because I'm still in college and stuff. But I support what you do 100%, bro. And you just keep going, bro. Keep going. Cause I already know good things are gonna happen for you, man. For real. I support it 100%, bro.
And also, just want to add to what you said, like, love you, appreciate your support. I support you too, Doko. I want to tell this to everybody out there that our life, we all have a different schedule.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's very important to hear. I think that one of the main things that stops a lot of people, especially as Tongans, because we're so tight knit, and we care so much about what people think, that one of the worst things that you can do is compare yourself to everybody else.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that look ahead, look behind. But they don't look what's in front of them. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, like, yeah, do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna support you. I appreciate all the support the love you show me too. But I just want to tell all the Tongans out there, the kids out there. I mean, just because you're not where you want to be right now, just because somebody else, is doing it bigger than you right now, or I'm not doing it big, our life happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I always tell people. Like, look, everything happens exactly the way it should be for you. Mm-hmm. But what you need to figure out is like the decision you need to you need to learn from what happened and move forward and do better.
Definitely.
That's the thing. So like I'm excited, man. I'm a big fan ever since I saw your content. So I'm excited to see. I
appreciate that, man. Thank you for that, for real.
I'm excited to see where you go, bro. So how far you can go now, because I know you're gonna go. But the question is how far.
Yeah.
And that's exciting to me though. See to watch you grow and do your thing, man. And like I said, when you do make it big, I'm like, yeah. Remember that guy LaughwithPak? I was the first.
Hey man, look, and see, you already got you already like in the land of that in LA, bro. Like you're already there, man. Like see, I have to make it there, bro. In LA, everyone knows that LA is where you want to be if you want to make it far in entertainment. So it's you already got your foot in the door, man. And it's like I know your future podcasts are gonna be freaking amazing, bro. And I'm gonna be supporting you 100% of the way, bro. For real.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, when you make it big, I'm like, hey, the first podcast I ever did was with me, bro. I got his original first podcast.
No, I'm gonna be like, hey man, y'all watching all that dude's podcast? Yeah, I was on it. I was check episode 3 or something. I don't know. Then be like, what?
Scroll down. Keep scrolling. You find it.
Yeah. We were both in. I was in a car with no gas, and he was in the kitchen with no food. Come on now.
Hey, but we're living life and happy though. We're happy just
living life and happy, man. Doing what we do best, man. For real.
Sure. Hey man, appreciate it. Just one thing I want to ask you. That's what I always ask everybody on the podcast. To end off the podcast, can you just share some final words to everybody out there that's watching? Show some love, support, some encouragement. I know one thing I do know, there's a lot of people watching that's gonna watch this episode, and they're like, you shared a lot of great stuff. They can't be taught in books. They can't be taught in life. So I know a lot of kids are gonna take a lot from what you said. That's why I asked you to share some final thoughts, some words of encouragement, some motivation out there to people that just going through it in their own life. And I just want to ask you to share some final thoughts with them before we end it off.
Yeah, man. Like basically, no matter what you're going through in life, everybody, like this, I don't want it to sound so cliche, but it's just always spread love. Because my biggest thing is I love to love. and it's always better to give than receive. So, you know, even though you might not be receiving that love, it's always good to give it back because you never know what other people are going through. So it's like, just spread the love rather than the hate, because other people, you don't know how much you're affecting other people until they let you know. So just always spread love. Don't mind the hate. Don't spread the hate. There's already enough hate in the world. And just always love your neighbors. All right, guys, just love your neighbors. That's all I got to say.
Karma is real, y'all.
Yes,
Karma is real. For sure. Like I said, from the bottom of my heart, man, I said thank you again for the opportunity. Thank you again taking the time to be on this podcast.
No, thank you for the opportunity, man. For real, I really appreciate talking to you on this podcast, man. It definitely opened up my eyes to things that I never thought about before, and it definitely will help me with what I'm trying to do, like, you know, moving forward. So I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing, bro. And, you know, you already got my support 100%. For real.
For sure. All right, man. All right, y'all. All up here, everybody's watching. Love y'all, man. Peace. Hey, I'm gonna just press the stop on the record button, but I'm gonna talk to you right after.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll give you 1 second.